I want to quickly take you through a campaign we've been running inside of Wessel Media. So basically this campaign has been running for the month of June. We'll quickly show you some results and what we got out of it and how much we put into it, so you can see the numbers and see where we validate them for you. And then we can quickly take you through what we use when we're planning a new campaign, how we run basically a virtual team sales. So basically what that we mean, we generate leads, then our team has meetings with people online, and then basically they sell them our product and services. So let's jump straight into it. So let's quickly take a look at some proven results first. Okay, so just two numbers I want to quickly make you aware of is the 17,291 Rand and 16 cents that we paid for our ad spend. And then basically our sales, we made back 74,397. So let's quickly take a look at these numbers to validate them. So as you can see, here we are in our own ad account, one of our testing accounts. So here you can see we had the numbers of lead we set basically, and then also if you go and count these two together, you'll see the ad spend that we put into it. As you can see, this is our Wessel Media account. This is our live account. Here you can see the date and so on. So let's quickly take a look at the monetary value. So this was basically Paystack that we used to capture our sales. This was the sales for this campaign that we basically ran. We did a basically testing Paystack out. With this, we basically would send the client a link and they can basically pay on the link, and it also acts as a debit order collection system. So as you guys can see, from the 1st of June to the 30th of June for this campaign, we made 74,397. And then as you remember, and we go back, you will see our numbers are validated. So let's quickly jump into this video and let me explain to you exactly what we're going to be taking a look at and walking through here. So, firstly, we had 86 leads that basically came in for this campaign that we ran. You will see then we booked 58 meetings. Then we also had 40 meetings that people attended with us online basically via Google Meet or Zoom. We had 30 follow-ups on sales, and then basically we had 10 closes for that month. So basically we sell a service-based product that has also a bit of an education product connected to it. But basically you can think about it like this. Our average retainer is 7,500. We do have some upsells and downsells on it. If you see our numbers don't really make sense, all that. Basically we also have a bit of a lower one that we sold. That's how we got to 74,397. All right. So let's quickly take a look at some points on what I found really helped me always out when I'm building a new campaign, testing new ads, testing new offers, new angles, and basically how to take our product or service to the market and do more product testing from marketing side, and just to get it out in the market and all, and just grow the business basically. All right. Okay, so as I said as well, this is a retainer-based product. So basically what we made in month one, we got an ROI basically of 4.3%, as you can see, basically what we spend in ads, and then also what we got back in sales. Our profit for that month, basically on new sales, not counting our back-end system and all that, on just this account, our new sales that we got in monthly retainers, profit-wise, for month one, it was 57,105. And then basically 84 cents. And then also you can go and make the calculation yourself then. And then we have a minimum of a 3-month basically contract that people will work with us to help them to get their things set up and get everything working, and basically so on for the service we do deliver. So minimum usually it's around 7,500. As I said, we do have a bit of a down, so if we see we can work with someone other type product that we also have, and so on. So as you guys can see, this campaign worked really well. We did really good with it. Personally, I was really happy with the input and the output we got here. At this point, we actually went and made it even better in the next few months that we've been working on it. So this is basically, I'm shooting this video then in August. So we actually got our cost per lead. So actually the average cost per lead in this campaign was around 190 Rand per lead. At this point, we got it down to around 100 Rand to 110 Rand. That's what we're seeing now. So we're also improving this campaign massively at this current stage as well. Okay. So one quick metric I want to work through with you guys for the analytical part, just so you guys can know how to go and actually calculate this when you're working out if it was successful or not. So what you do is, you take the total amount you spend basically on your marketing, then you go and divide it by the number of meetings that you booked. Then you can work out how much did you pay per booked meeting. You go and do the same then with the amount of meetings you have held. You can get basically a number value there. then how much you also pay basically per follow-up, and then how much it's going to cost you basically to generate one client. You go just like that amount divided by the total amount that you spend, and you can get it, and you have your CAC, or client acquisition cost. All right. Super important, so you know how much you put in, how much it takes actually to go and get a client in. So as I said, for our side, our add to LTV, or lifetime value, can be quite extended. But if you're, for example, only selling, let's say, a product that's a once-off sale, if you, let's say, the client acquisition cost is 1,000 rand, you put 500 rand. Now you put 1,500 rand in, sorry, then you basically make 500 rand profit in the back end. So make sure to know what your CAC, or client acquisition cost, is, to make sure what is your return on investment on the ad spend that you're putting back in. So then some stuff I want to quickly talk about which made this a real big success for us when I'm looking at a campaign as basically as a whole, and what worked, and some tips to implement for you guys. So first thing, on the leads that we generated. I know they said you cannot work with every lead that you generate, which is totally true. But you can get quite, I want to say 60 to 70% there. You can get close enough. Saying this still, you will not be closing 70% of the leads. A 30% closing rate on leads is usually quite good. That says your pricing is in the right place and all that type of stuff. But having a 70%, let's say, or a 60 to 70% meeting booking rate, or conversation starting rate, that's what you're looking for on those leads, basically. So when you get the lead, you must make sure it's someone you actually can work with. We basically use Facebook, and then we will program Facebook that has a survey that you can submit to have certain questions in that we want people to answer. If they do not qualify, the survey will then kick them out, and they will not be able to go through the system and submit as a lead then for our basically our product or service. Okay, so we want banned leads. That's point one. So basically, it's it needs to people have to have budget. So we use qualifying questions to make sure they have the budget to work with us. You need to be able to talk to authority figure. So basically, the owner usually of the business, or if you're selling some technical product, maybe a marketing manager or something like that that is correlated with that product that you're selling. Someone that can make a decision of buying. Next, it's going to be they need to have the need for that product, actually. So not just going and marketing to people that's maybe just scrolling around and not really interested in anything. So basically, a quick example of this can be for, let's say, for Wessel Media, it's have you ever tried lead generation before in the past? If they say yes. Or if you, the other question can be, for example, do you need a lead generation partner currently? And it will also say yes or no. Or do you currently work with lead generation partner? Whatever it is, that's usually an indication that the need is there. If people is currently working with someone, there is a need for them basically to be working with you, and you can basically go and sign them. All right. Or you can just ask a question like, for example, in our case, are you struggling to close leads? Yes, no. If it's clients, is yes, you know you can work with them, the need is there. And then next is going to be timeliness as well. Super important. You don't want to get a whole bunch of leads that's not ready to buy at this point. So let's say, for example, a space that I made let's say a little mistake in when I got started a few years back is when I was running a few education type product on how to do certain aspect on Facebook, was basically for the product, how to set up your campaigns and so on. I was selling to a whole bunch of people that was looking to start a business, not someone that had a business. So what ended up happening, I had leads that had extremely long follow-ups that I was chasing for the sale. So for example, I would start talking to someone in January and I would close them in December, when once they already got their business up and running. So those were just super wrong cycles. Make sure you're closing someone that has the need now. So let's say, for example, you have a solar company. You say, when would you need to have the solar solution installed? When are you looking to install the solution? Within 30 days, within 360 days, or within 90 days? The client can select on the drop down which one they want, and then you have an indication, you know, okay, within 90 days, we can start closing them now, getting the payment sorted, all the finance sorted, and all that stuff. Okay, so banned, very important. Then next, basically for meeting booking, something that's really important is we have a templated booking script that all of our sales team basically use. So why do we do this? So basically that all of our call frequency, for example, is the same. We have rules set out for our salespeople. You need to call, for example, 6 to 12 to 18 times if a client doesn't answer. Everyone must do the same thing. Then also the tone. We practice with our salespeople, our scripts when they first join up with us. We show them the tone we want them to talk with the clients. For example, if you take Wessel Media, we are predominantly Afrikaans, so we actually speak Afrikaans most of the time with our clients, and we will sit down and exercise that with our people to make sure they get that friendly Afrikaans tone of voice that we know our clients love when working with us. And then also theme. So what I mean with theme is, are you a business that's more in the, let's say if you're in finance, you're maybe going to be a bit more professional. What we saw, for example, in the marketing space when working with other business owners, they get sold the whole day. They get a lot of offers exactly like us, people calling them and so on. So we're just nice and chilled with people when we call them. Our theme is a bit more relaxed. We are a bit more relaxed company as well. And we found that works extremely well when calling clients. At this point, we have an 80 to almost 90% booking rate on our leads. And that's because of the theme that we bring across from all of our salespeople when talking to a client, basically having a friendly theme, tonality, and all that type of stuff combined. Then also, basically, that's really important that you need to make sure the same thing is said everywhere. So I have worked with clients in the past. Salespeople will say a whole bunch of different things. If you have 10 salespeople, that can get quite chaotic. If clients start to bring up issues maybe they have, or let's say, for example, this 2-3 salesperson is pitching a product different than the other 3, then it's going to be chaos for you when you're implementing the product or basically delivering the service, because you 3-4 things were sold differently at that point. So you need to make sure everything is documented out nicely. So for example, with the bookings, at this stage, you just will literally be calling a client. The only objective is to make a booking. But you don't want 3-4 salespeople doing different things. One is calling a booking, one is booking a webinar with them, other one is inviting them into the office. And everyone do the same thing, basically. All right, so that's basically a point for booking meetings and so on. Then tip 3 is going to be basically when sitting down with a client and so on. So what we've seen work really well for our services and also our products that we sold in the past is using a templated script and presentation. As I said again, we must make sure our salespeople always say the same stuff. If it's Gertjie selling and it's Johan on the other side selling, they need to say the same stuff. I have seen it multiple times in businesses that we have consulted on, that people say different stuff to different clients. Then when you're busy onboarding a client, you have to physically go and custom build this service different for the next client, and you have to do that 3-4 times, and that poor business owner is not sleeping. So you need to make sure everyone is bringing across the same message, selling the exact same way. And you as a business owner, what I would recommend is go take 10, 20, 30 meetings, sit down with that presentation, invest a whole month in it, make sure that thing is rock solid and it can actually sell before you give it to your salespeople to use. You had multiple businesses that we've helped, that would, for example, they will give a sales thing that they just quickly designed, haven't tested it, they just give it to salespeople. 3-4 months down the line, they fire off the sales team because they don't know why there's no sales coming in, but they didn't do the sales themselves. They didn't see the reaction on the client's face, if you want to say it like that, or the reaction that the clients give. Multiple times we've helped businesses where, for example, we've seen maybe the salespeople are struggling a little bit. We've told the business owner, drop everything and do it yourself for a little while. And then 3-4 days later, they're getting a massive amount of sales and they cannot know why. And then it was actually the business owner just sitting, finding problems and fixing it on the script quickly as he went. And just getting better after each meeting, just improving and improving and improving, and then giving that to the salespeople, then just rocketing. All right, so make sure to go and test your scripts and your presentations and so on. And then, also, as I said, make sure everyone has the same thing that they say to their clients, and also questions in the presentation is extremely important. Have a question-led presentation. Don't go and do a bunch of statements. If I think about our own presentations, we have a rule: 3 minutes out of a half an hour, you are allowed to sell. And then outside of that is for questions from the clients and questions you're asking to make sure the client is the right fit for us to be working with, because that's also a very important thing you need to know. If you just go and sign up people, you are going to get a whole crap load of bad reviews. Make sure you're only signing up people that have similar results as your baseline, or you can get similar results to as your baselines you currently have. Those people are going to give you great reviews, and they're going to enjoy working with you, and they're going to be the nicest and the easiest people to work with. All right, pro tip there, very important to go and implement that. Next is going to be follow up. So we recommend following up a minimum of 18 times or never stop following up as well. So what we usually would tell our salespeople is follow up for 18 times straight, basically over a week or so, and then you can slow it down maybe to every second day or so, and then even go to a monthly basis. For example, our sales team even closes people that they saw in January still in this current month, that is basically August now. For example, last month, I remember on one of our super old campaigns, our sales guys started reaching out to old clients, basically running offers to them, seeing if then we know we talked to them, they never took a decision, maybe something like that, and we basically closed them from there into the current sequence that we have now, and we brought them in now. So never stop following up. There's a lot of money to be made in the follow up. That is where you build extremely profitable and efficient business. So 18 times follow up. What we meant of that is double dial. If you call a client now, you call him once. If he doesn't answer, you call him back immediately again. What we usually saw with some of a lot of clients' phones is if you double dial, it will go through, especially if you're calling from a cell phone. We saw that works extremely well. At Wessel Media, we just use cell phones. We don't use landlines or any VoIP systems or anything like that. We did a long test a few years back and experimented with it. And at this point, we found people answer cell phones because if they go, maybe they save your number onto a WhatsApp number, they can actually see your profile picture. So that works extremely well. By selling by basically cell phone and having WhatsApp set up, that is basically going to be your business WhatsApp that you can be using to sell clients on your reps site. So pro tip there as well. So 18 times, double dial every single time when you're calling a client. So you're going to be basically calling 9 times, but you're going to be double dialing. So it's 18 outreaches that you're going to be having with a client. What we usually would recommend is if a client said, yes, they're going forward, call me back on this date. What you can do then is, on that date, you call him in the morning, you call him in the afternoon. If he doesn't answer the next day, go on with it. Every single day, call him in the morning, call him in the afternoon, and double dial both times until that client answers. They'll be relentless with your follow-up. That's what I would say. I know sometimes people don't like to do that, but what we personally saw within our own company and with one of our best, I want to say multiple best partners that we are working with at this stage, is a certain amount of people will just follow up maybe 2 times, and that'll be most of the businesses that we've seen. A really small amount will go to 6 times, and past 6 times, those are the pros. Those are the guys that are killing it, have a massive business, growing at an incredible pace. So that's a lesson you can learn here. Follow up. Usually I would say follow up until you die, or basically till a client tells you not to call him back again, he's not interested. Then you can stop as well. So if a client says no, then just stop. Then go on basically after that. Okay. So last point basically I have is when you sign a client, also have a very forward onboarding process, have a very well structured onboarding process. That creates a lot of trust for a client when he signs up with you. Take for example, I know in our industries, especially the lead generation industry, there is not a lot of onboarding sequences. Most of the times when we sign a client, they will compliment us on our onboarding process because they've never seen this type of stuff before when working with another client. So if you're in one of those industries, for example, the lead generation industry is flooded with people that's or a new business owner or something like that, that's maybe not yet brought in an onboarding system. The real pros all have onboarding systems. So make sure, it doesn't matter which business you have an onboarding process or an after sales process that is rock solid, that brings ease of mind to the client and really builds trust. I want to say, if I take a look at our numbers, the clients that onboarded the easiest or asked the most questions during an onboarding and was very interactive with us, those are the clients that our LTV is the highest on, always. So if you have really good onboarding process, you will also basically then bump the lifetime value of a client as well. And after sales process, if you're, for example, doing solar, have like a list. So next, what's going to happen next 2 days, this guy is going to come out and he's going to do the surveying on your roof to make sure we have the right panning that we're going to set up. This day we're going to send you a progress report of what's going to happen there, and have a very nice after sale process that's planned out, or an onboarding system if you like a service or something. All right. So that's it basically from my side. I hope this video brought some insight for you as a business owner on how to go and test a new campaign, some practical business advice that you can implement. All of this we learned by making a whole bunch of mistakes over the past 8 to 10 years at this point. So I want to say everything here I learned the hard way. So if you see this and you can get some ease out of it, that's basically the point of this video, is just to help you guys out, get in the right direction. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out to us via DM or go to our website. You'll see a whole bunch of content there as well, and then we can see how we can help you out. Have a great day.